So James is desperate to support his position on the U.S. code that he cited, this 42 USC 2000 AA. Now, this doesn't make it illegal. This just gives you a cause of action. There is nothing happens to any government office or employees if they do this, but you can sue them. So before you start calling things illegal or crimes, James, you probably should be aware that it isn't a crime. So he wants to support it. He thinks he can. He links to this. It brings us to here. He says that this shows that the Toledo Blade won. It doesn't. You can see I've highlighted the word won. It's actually picks up won't both times. There is no just one. There you go. All right. So it doesn't say they won. Always read your sources before you link them to me. That would be great. So what actually happened? This is from the Toledo Blade. Yeah, I mean, why not actually go to the paper that had happened to them? All right, so what happened is Blade reporter and photographer said they went to the driveway entrance of a tank plant operated by General Dynamics Land Systems on Friday afternoon. They stayed outside the plant's gate and did not pass an unmanned guard check. The pair were leaving when they were stopped by military police. They were detained for at least an hour, Mr. Lincoln said. After the protest by the Blade, U.S. Senator Rob Portman's office made a call to General Dynamics. Keith Dieters, manager of the plant, said Friday evening he was able to persuade the military police to release the camera after they reviewed the photographs. Despite getting the cameras back, John Robinson Block, the Blade's publisher and editor-in-chief, called the incident disturbing. I am personally shocked by this incident, Mr. Block said. I believe our people were totally in the right. Both Mr. Lincoln and Miss Fraser were wearing Blade and news media credentials. They were detained, and Miss Fraser said she was placed in handcuffs and escorted out of their vehicle when she initially refused to provide military police her driver's license, saying that she was not the person driving the vehicle. The military police called Blade editors to confirm that Miss Fraser and Mr. Lincoln were Blade employees. They seized Miss Fraser's cameras, telling her the photography of any part of the plant was not permitted. The plant security coordinator would need to review the photographs before the cameras could be returned. Miss Fraser said she was told. The employee was not at the plant, would not be there until Monday. Both Blade employees were released, but military police kept the camera. A Blade photographer retrieved the cameras from the plant about 8:30 p.m. from a military police commander about 7 hours after they were seized. Upon examining the camera, she found they didn't have any of the photos of the exterior of the tank plant, about half a dozen, that Mr. Fraser shot. Okay. Now, if there is probable cause to believe the person possessing such materials has committed or is committing a criminal offense to which the materials relate, provided, however, that the police may not search for materials but such as a seizure may be blah 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 and yada yada. There's reason to believe the immediate seizure of the materials necessary to prevent the death of or serious injury to a human being. So, probable cause to prevent death or serious injury. Probable cause, if you think it's related to the materials, you could seize them as evidence of the crime. Probable cause would let you seize them to prove the crime. The military just deleted the images. They were not using them to prove the crime. Now, you'll notice that this statute doesn't say that they're doing it to prove the crime. And I'm sure that's going to be a bit of the sticky wicket that they were talking about in their negotiations between the Toledo Blade's attorney and the U.S. government attorneys. However, there was no adjudication that the U.S. was wrong. This is a stipulation for compromise, settlement, and release of First Amendment Privacy Protection Act claims pursuant to 42 U.S.C. Section 2000 AA. The stipulation means both parties got together and agreed to it. It just means they came to an agreement. They came to an agreement, they presented it to the judge, both parties stipulated to it, the judge stamped it, and away they went. You'll notice in Part 5, it says the stipulation for compromise, settlement, and release is not, and is in no way intended to be and should not be construed as an admission of liability or fault on the part of the United States of America, its current and or former officers, agents, servants, or employees, including any federal defendant in the referenced civil action, and it is specifically denied that they are liable to plaintiffs. The settlement is entered into by all parties for the purpose of compromising disputed claims under the First Amendment Privacy Protection Act in the referenced civil action and avoiding the expense and risk of future litigation. Now, you will notice that after a year of litigation, they settled on $18,000 to the plaintiff. Now, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be judging it by current year California costs in the area that I practice, but I am shocked. I would be shocked if $18,000 actually paid the attorney for this. Because no, the attorney probably didn't do it on contingency. They probably did it on hourly, because there definitely was no huge expectation of a giant payout. So there you go. It doesn't prove 18 or 42 USC 2000A will prevent the government from taking items if there is probable cause. Can you sue on it? Yes, you obviously can. Will you win? That's still undetermined. Will the U.S. settle? Maybe. But I would be much more inclined to believe that the U.S. would not settle if the person that they were going after, A, had evidence of the actual crime on their phone or camera, and B, were not accredited, reputable journalists. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that, the citizens have the right to be press and to act as press. Absolutely. But there is a difference. You have the right to go out into your backyard and play football. That doesn't make you a professional football player. There is a difference. If you can't see the difference, I apologize. I feel sorry for you, but there is a difference. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.